Obama's agenda for Islam. Obama's agenda for Islam has become clear over the last few months. What exactly is Obama's real agenda and how does it apply to the Middle East? First, we need to understand a little Middle Eastern Muslim history. The Ottoman Empire lasted from July 27, 1299 to October 29, 1923. The Ottoman Caliphate, under the Ottoman dynasty of the Ottoman Empire, inherited the responsibility of the caliphate from the Mamluks of Egypt. What is a caliphate? A caliphate is led by a caliph. The caliphate is ruled by Sharia law, in both public and private life, with no popular elections or legislature. The caliphate includes any area that has ever been subjected to Islamic law, which includes parts of France, all of Russia, Spain, China, parts of South Asia that is Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc., parts of Africa, plus all of the Middle East and if they have it their way the USA. The caliphate's foreign policy is eternal jihad. The Ottoman Caliphate encompassed most of the Middle East, most of North Africa, and parts of Europe, modern Albania, Bulgaria, Greece, Hungary, Romania and Yugoslavia. In the Middle East, the Ottomans ruled Syria, the region of Palestine, Egypt, parts of Arabia and Iraq. The empire reached around the Black Sea and into the Caucasus and Central Asia, including Armenia. Modern-day states that were created from the downfall of the Ottoman Empire: Lebanon independence, November 22, 1943; Syria independence, April 17, 1946. Iraq's modern borders were demarcated in 1920 by the League of Nations when the Ottoman Empire was divided by the Treaty of Sevres. Iraq independence, October 3, 1932; Israel independence, May 14, 1948. Kuwait gained independence from the United Kingdom in 1961, Kuwait independence, June 19, 1961. Jordan independence, May 25, 1946. Egypt independence, February 28, 1922. Saudi Arabia independence, September 23, 1932. All the land stated in the prior slides was under the control of the Ottoman Empire Caliphate except for part of Saudi Arabia. What does this have to do with Obama? Obama is eliminating all obstacles to uniting the Muslim Arab world under one caliphate controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood. You may say, come on, that's nuts. Okay, well, look at Egypt. A long-standing the United States ally, Obama allowed the Muslim Brotherhood to take over Egypt under the guise of a democracy. Supposedly, Muslims and Christians stood side by side united against our ally Mubarak. Did the Coptic community do this really, or were they threatened by the Muslim community under the Muslim Brotherhood? Apparently, the Muslims and Obama think it's alright to kill Christians. Why isn't Obama condemning the wholesale killing of Christians in Egypt? Yet, he illegally invades Libya under humanitarian cover. On May 16, 2011, 12 Christians were murdered in Egypt. 232 people wounded. The death toll will surely rise as victims succumb to their injuries. And that's just in the past few days. January 1, 2011, on New Year's Day, 21 Christians were killed in a church bombing in the ancient port city of Alexandria. January 7, 2010, Coptic Christmas, 7 people were killed as they left Mass. 6 were Christian worshippers, the 7th victim was a Muslim guard. In this case, someone was actually arrested. On March 9, 2011, a horde of Muslims attacked Christians. 1,500 Muslims stormed the Christian community in a modern-day pogrom. 13 people died, 45 were seriously injured, 150 moderately injured. The Egyptians put a military blackout over this event. This carnage was reported by a Syrian international news agency. Another ally in the Middle East that holds the same values as the USA once did, definitely before Obama, is Israel. On May 19, 2011, Obama said Israel must return to the 1967 borders. These borders were indefensible prior to the Arab-Muslim world attacking them in 1967. Why would it be any different today? The world is still in awe of their victory in 1967. During his speech, Obama said that Israel has a right to defend itself, by itself. Is this how we treat our allies? We support them when it suits our needs. Then we throw them under the bus. Is Obama duplicitous? Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel and it must remain undivided, Barack Obama told the audience at the 2008 Annual Policy Conference of the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee (AIPAC). According to the UN Security Council Resolution 242 and Israel's requirements for withdrawal, there is no requirement to return to the 1967 borders. September 1968 is clear, however, that a return to the situation of June 4, 1967 will not bring peace. There must be secure and there must be recognized borders. President Lyndon Johnson, September 1, 1982, and the pre-1967 borders, Israel was barely 10 miles wide at its narrowest point. The bulk of Israel's population lived within artillery range of hostile armies. I am not about to ask Israel to live that way again. President Ronald Reagan, September 1988, Israel will never negotiate from or return to the 1967 borders. Secretary of State George Shultz, January 7, 2001, I think there can be no genuine resolution to the conflict without a sovereign, viable, Palestinian state that accommodates Israelis' security requirements and the demographic realities. That suggests Palestinian sovereignty over Gaza, the vast majority of the West Bank, the incorporation into Israel of settlement blocks to make the agreement durable. I think there will have to be some territorial swaps and other arrangements. President Bill Clinton, June 24, 2002. Ultimately, Israelis and Palestinians must address the core issues that divide them if there is to be a real peace, resolving all claims and ending the conflict between them. This means that the Israeli occupation that began in 1967 will be ended through a settlement negotiated between the parties, based on UN Resolutions 242 and 338, with Israeli withdrawal to secure and recognize borders. President George W. Bush, which one of our allies will be next? Nations of the world. Obama is showing you that under his administration you cannot trust any agreement you sign with Obama. Not only that, but prior agreements with the USA are not relevant under the Obama administration. Where are we going with this? The Muslim Brotherhood took over Egypt. Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood are one and the same. They are rooted in the same ideology. Jordan and Syria are unstable now, and the Muslim Brotherhood is there to help unify the Middle East and aid in the re-establishment of a caliphate. What does any of this have to do with Obama? Egypt official. The United States president claims to be Muslim. Egyptian Foreign Minister Ahmed Al-Ghaid was quoted as saying during an appearance on Nile TV that the American president told me in confidence that he is a Muslim. The White House remained silent on the comment, declining to respond to a WND request for comment. From Atlas Shrugs. Finally, during the week of 14-18th of January 2010, just on the eve of my winter tour to the United States, Rachel picked up a Nile TV broadcast in which Egyptian Foreign Minister Al-Ghaid said on the round table show that he had had a one-on-one meeting with Obama, who swore to him that he was a Muslim, the son of a Muslim father and stepson of Muslim stepfather, that his half-brothers in Kenya were Muslims, and that he was loyal to the Muslim agenda. He asked that the Muslim world show patience. Obama promised that once he overcame some domestic American problems, healthcare, that he would show the Muslim world what he would do with Israel. Obama was born and raised as a Muslim. That is a fact. He claims that he is now a Christian. In Islam, when a Muslim converts to another religion, is it punishable by death? Yes, a convert to another religion must be put to death according to the Quran. Quran 4-89, they but wish that ye should reject faith, as they do, and thus be on the same footing as they, but take not friends from their ranks until they flee in the way of Allah from what is forbidden. But if they turn renegades, seize them and slay them wherever ye find them. Quran 9:11-12. But if they repent and establish worship and pay the poor due, then are they your brethren in religion. We detail our revelations for people who have knowledge. And if they break their pledges after the treaty hath been made with you and assail your religion, then fight the heads of disbelief. Lo, they have no binding oaths, in order that they may desist. This verse is speaking of infidels, that is, slay the infidels wherever you find them. 9-5, who obviously became Muslim to escape the sword, but the hadith make no distinction of how a Muslim came to be a Muslim. Apostasy is always punished by death. Advocates for killing apostates have pointed out that the supporting hadith are reliable and thus qualify as law according to verse 4:80, whoso abideth the messenger abideth Allah. There are indisputable records of Muhammad and his companions executing apostates in many books of the hadith. Bukhari 52-260. The Prophet said, if somebody a Muslim discards his religion, kill him. Bukhari 83-37. Allah's apostle never killed anyone except in one of the following three situations. 1. A person who killed somebody unjustly, was killed in qisas. 2. A married person who committed illegal sexual intercourse. And 3. A man who fought against Allah and his apostle and deserted Islam and became an apostate. Bukhari 84-57, in the words of Allah's apostle, whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him. Bukhari 84-64-65, Allah's apostle, during the last days there will appear some young foolish people who will say the best words, but their faith will not go beyond their throats, that is, they will have no faith and will go out from leave their religion as an arrow goes out of the game. So, wherever you find them, kill them, for whoever kills them shall have reward on the day of resurrection. Abu Dawud 43-46, was not there a wise man among you who would stand up to him when he saw that I had withheld my hand from accepting his allegiance, and kill him? Muhammad is chastising his companions for allowing an apostate to repent under duress. The person in question was Muhammad's former scribe who left him after doubting the authenticity of divine revelations upon finding out that he could suggest grammatical changes. He was brought back to Muhammad after having been captured in Medina. Reliance of the Traveler. Islamic Law 08.1, when a person who has reached puberty and is sane voluntarily apostatizes from Islam, he deserves to be killed. 08.4 affirms that there is no penalty for killing an apostate. You may be saying by now, okay, you just showed me a whole bunch of quotes from the Quran and Islamic law. I understand that the Muslims think it is okay to kill a person that leaves Islam and converts to another religion. What's the Obama connection again? Think about it. The leaders of the Muslim world embrace Obama. They know he was born and raised a Muslim and that he is still Muslim. If you go to a Muslim bookstore in Egypt, the odds are you will see a picture of Obama hanging on the wall and he is referred to as a Muslim leader. If Obama were truly Christian, Muslim leaders would treat him very different. But why would Obama lie? Is not it against Islam to lie? Lying to non-believers that are permitted under certain circumstances, taqiyya and kitman. These circumstances are typically those that advance the cause of Islam, in some cases by gaining the trust of non-believers in order to draw out their vulnerability and defeat them. Taqiyya, saying something that isn't true. Kitman, lying by omission. An example would be when Muslim apologists quote only a fragment of verse 5-32 that if anyone kills it shall be as if he had killed all mankind, while neglecting to mention that the rest of the verse and the next mandate murder in undefined cases of corruption and mischief. The Quran, Quran 16-106, establishes that there are circumstances that can compel a Muslim to tell a lie. Quran 3-28, this verse tells Muslims not to take those outside the faith as friends, unless it is to guard themselves. Quran 9-3. Allah and his messenger are free from liability to the idolaters. The dissolution of oaths with the pagans who remained at Mecca following its capture. They did nothing wrong, but were evicted anyway. Quran 40-28, a man is introduced as a believer, but one who must hide his faith among those who are not believers. Quran 2-225, Allah will not call you to account for thoughtlessness in your oaths, but for the intention in your hearts. The context of this remark is marriage, which explains why Sharia allows spouses to lie to each other for the greater good. Quran 66-2, Allah has already ordained for you, O men, the dissolution of your oaths. Quran 3-54, and they the disbelievers schemed, and Allah schemed against them, and Allah is the best of schemers. The Arabic word used here for scheme or plot is makara, which literally means deceit. If Allah is deceitful toward unbelievers, then there is little basis for denying that Muslims are allowed to do the same. See also 8-30 and 10-21. Taken collectively, these verses are interpreted to mean that a Muslim may deceive others. From the Hadith, Bukhari 52-269, the Prophet said, war is deceit. The context of this is thought to be the murder of Yusar ibn Zarim and his 30 unarmed men by Muhammad's men after he guaranteed them safe passage. Bukhari 49-857, he who makes peace between the people by inventing good information or saying good things, is not a liar. Lying is permitted when the end justifies the means. Bukhari 84-64-65, speaking from a position of power at the time, Ali confirms that lying is permissible in order to deceive an enemy. Muslim 32-6303, he did not hear that exemption was granted in anything what the people speak as lie but in 3 cases, in battle, for bringing reconciliation amongst persons and the narration of the words of the husband to his wife, and the narration of the words of a wife to her husband in a twisted form in order to bring reconciliation between them. Bukhari 50-369, recounts the murder of a poet, Ka'b bin al-Ashraf, at Muhammad's insistence. The men who volunteered for the assassination used dishonesty to gain Ka'b's trust, pretending that they had turned against Muhammad. This drew the victim out of his fortress, whereupon he was brutally slaughtered despite putting up a ferocious struggle for his life. From Islamic Law, Reliance of the Traveler p. 746-8.2, speaking is a means to achieve objectives. If a praiseworthy aim is attainable through both telling the truth and lying, it is unlawful to accomplish through lying because there is no need for it. When it is possible to achieve such an aim by lying but not by telling the truth, it is permissible to lie if attaining the goal is permissible, that is when the purpose of lying is to circumvent someone who is preventing one from doing something permissible, and obligatory to lie if the goal is obligatory. It is religiously precautionary in all cases to employ words that give a misleading impression. One should compare the bad consequences entailed by lying to those entailed by telling the truth, and if the consequences of telling the truth are more damaging, one is entitled to lie. Obama is destroying the United States' credibility around the world. Obama is antagonizing our allies. Yet, he reaches out to countries that do not share our ideology, that is Iran, Cuba and China to name a few. Obama has devalued our dollar by having trillions of dollars printed backed by nothing. Unemployment is out of control. Obama has done nothing to stimulate job growth. The only jobs he has created are government jobs which cost us in taxes. The unemployment number that is most often used in the media and by the government is known as the U3. N. Andrews compared historical versions of unemployment statistics with the modern U3 and U6 versions, published as historical unemployment in relationship to today. Based on that research, he was able to generate a mathematical formula to calculate U3 and U6 unemployment for the entire period since 1900 to 2009. He found that at the peak of the Great Depression, U3 was 25.2%. U6 was 37.6%. The number of unemployed increased in April, the government reported. The U3 unemployment rate rose to 9.0% in March. The U6 unemployment rate rose to 15.9%. The U6 is considered to be a broader measure of the unemployment situation in the United States. Obama is setting us on a course that will surpass the Great Depression. The U6 includes 2 groups of people that the U3 does not. 1. Marginally attached workers, people who are not actively looking for work, but who have indicated that they want a job and have looked for work without success sometime in the past 12 months. This class also includes discouraged workers who have completely given up on finding a job because they feel that they just won't find one. 2. People who are looking for full-time work but have to settle on a part-time job due to economic reasons. This means that they want full-time work, but can't find it. Obama has set a new precedent by assassinating Osama bin Laden in cold blood. Bin Laden was an evil person and should have been brought to justice. It is for the courts to decide if the death sentence applies. That would have been justice. We live by the rule of law. Obama is not judge, jury and executioner. Obama attempted to assassinate a U.S.-born Muslim cleric Anwar al-Awlaki. The President of the United States of America is not above the law and does not have the right to assassinate a United States citizen. Obama invaded Libya unprovoked and killed many civilians there along with one of Gaddafi's sons and 3 grandchildren under the age of 12 and destroyed a school for disabled children. Obama is out of control in a single-minded mission to unite the Muslim world under one caliphate controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood. The War Powers Resolution forbids the United States forces to remain in combat for more than 60 days, allowing 30 days for withdrawal, without Congress authorizing the use of military force. May 19, 2011. Washington CNN. As the United States military campaign in Libya approaches the 60-day mark this Friday, 6 Republican senators wrote President Obama asking if he will comply with the War Powers Act, which says Congress must authorize action that lasts more than 60 days. Friday is the final day of the statutory 60-day period for you to terminate the use of the United States Armed Forces in Libya under the War Powers Resolution. Last week some in your administration indicated use of the United States Armed Forces will continue indefinitely, while others said you would act in a manner consistent with the War Powers Resolution. Therefore, we are writing to ask whether you intend to comply with the requirements of the War Powers Resolution. We await your response, wrote the GOP senators Wednesday. The letter was signed by Senator Rand Paul, Republican Kentucky, Senator John Cornyn, Republican Texas, Senator Tom Coburn, Republican Oklahoma, Senator Jim Damiant, Republican South Carolina, Senator Ron Johnson, Republican Wisconsin, and Senator Mike Lee, Republican Utah. The GOP senators said they believe the president already violated part of the War Powers Act, which says the president's constitutional powers allow him to only deploy troops into hostilities with a declaration of war, specific authorization from Congress, or a national emergency caused by an attack on the U.S. The deadline has come and passed. Our troops are still in Libya. Obama does not respect the American people and the laws of the land. Obama's agenda is to ally with the Muslim world using the United States money and resources to re-establish a caliphate. He wants to make the USA into a third world country where we have no rights because he is destroying our constitution. It's time to stand up and impeach Obama before it is too late. Obama could care less whether you are head of state, a citizen of the USA or a citizen of the world. If you disagree with Obama, he will label you a terrorist and assassinate you. For more videos visit American Revolution 02 www.youtube.com. Impeach Obama now. Impeach Obama now. Impeach Obama now. Yes, we can. Slides was under the control of the Ottoman Empire Caliphate except for part of Saudi Arabia. What does this have to do with Obama? Obama is eliminating all obstacles to uniting the Muslim Arab world under one caliphate controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood. You may say, come on, that's nuts. Okay, well, look at Egypt. A long-standing the United States ally, Obama allowed the Muslim Brotherhood to take over Egypt under the guise of a democracy. Supposedly, Muslims and Christians stood side by side united against our ally Mubarak. Did the Coptic community do this really, or were they threatened by the Muslim community under the Muslim Brotherhood? Apparently, the Muslims and Obama think it's alright to kill Christians. Why isn't Obama condemning the wholesale killing of Christians in Egypt? Yet, he illegally invades Libya under humanitarian, including Armenia. Modern-day states that were created from the downfall of the Ottoman Empire: Lebanon independence, November 22, 1943. Syria independence, April 17, 1946. Iraq's modern borders were demarcated in 1920 by the League of Nations when the Ottoman Empire was divided by the Treaty of Sevres. Iraq independence, October 3, 1932. Israel independence, May 14, 1948. Kuwait gained independence from the United Kingdom in 1961, Kuwait independence, June 19, 1961. Jordan independence, May 25, 1946. Egypt independence, February 28, 1922. Saudi Arabia independence, September 23, 1932. All the land stated in the prior with no popular elections or legislature. The Caliphate includes any area that has ever been subjected to Islamic law, which includes parts of France, all of Russia, Spain, China, parts of South Asia, that is Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc., parts of Africa, plus all of the Middle East, and if they have it their way, the USA. The Caliphate's foreign policy is eternal jihad. The Ottoman Caliphate encompassed most of the Middle East, most of North Africa, and parts of Europe: modern Albania, Bulgaria, Greece, Hungary, Romania and Yugoslavia. In the Middle East, the Ottomans ruled Syria, the region of Palestine, Egypt, parts of Arabia and Iraq. The empire reached around the Black Sea and into the Caucasus and Central Asia, in cover. On May 16, 2011, 12 Christians were murdered in Egypt. 232 people wounded. The death toll will surely rise as victims succumb to their injuries. And that's just in the past few days. January 1, 2011, on New Year's Day, 21 Christians were killed in a church bombing in the ancient port city of Alexandria. January 7, 2010, Coptic Christmas, 7 people were killed as they left Mass. 6 were Christian worshippers, the 7th victim was a Muslim guard. In this case, someone was actually arrested. On March 9, 2011, a horde of Muslims attacked Christians. 1,500 Muslims stormed the Christian community in a modern-day pogrom. 13 people died, 45 were seriously injured, 150 moderately injured. Obama's agenda for Islam. Obama's agenda for Islam has become clear over the last few months. What exactly is Obama's real agenda, and how does it apply to the Middle East? First, we need to understand a little Middle Eastern Muslim history. The Ottoman Empire lasted from July 27, 1299 to October 29, 1923. The Ottoman Caliphate, under the Ottoman dynasty of the Ottoman Empire, inherited the responsibility of the caliphate from the Mamluks of Egypt. What is a caliphate? A caliphate is led by a caliph. The caliphate is ruled by Sharia law, in both public and private life.